Yo, what's going on, guys? We're Antho0, and today I'm going to be doing my 2024 NBA play-in and playoff predictions. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so for the first game in the play-in, we have the Lakers versus the Pelicans. Pelicans have home court advantage. However, I think the Lakers will still beat the Pelicans, only because I just think they have more playoff experience than the Pelicans. They beat them the last time they played, and I just think they're just a better team overall. That's why I'm predicting that the Lakers will beat the Pelicans and get the 7th seed. Alright guys, so for the next matchup in the play-in, we have the Warriors versus the Kings. Kings have home court advantage, but I think that the Warriors will beat the Kings. Like the Lakers, the Warriors have more playoff experience than the Kings, and I just feel like when it comes to a big game, the Kings will just crumble and fall under the pressure. That's why I'm going to predict that the Warriors beat the Kings and they play the Pelicans for the 8th seed. Alright guys, so for the last matchup in the West play-in, we have the Warriors versus the Pelicans. I think that the Warriors will beat the Pelicans. I just feel like because it's such a big game for the Warriors, I just feel like they're just going to win that game and they're just going to come out fighting, want it more. I just feel like the Pelicans just aren't good enough to make the playoffs. It's been a few years, but right now I just don't see them making it into the playoffs. So that's why I'm predicting the Warriors beat the Pelicans and get the 8th seed. Alright guys, so for the first matchup in the East play-in, we have the Sixers up against the Heat. I'm predicting that the Sixers beat the Heat. I just feel like the Sixers will want it more and will just come out with a win, but I think it'll be a close game. That's why I'm predicting the Sixers beat the Heat and get the 7th seed. Alright guys, so for the second matchup in the East play-in, we have the Hawks up against the Bulls. I'm predicting that the Bulls beat the Hawks. I just feel like the Bulls will want it more and will come out fighting, and will also want to get revenge on the Hawks for when they beat them last time they played. So that is why I'm predicting that the Bulls will beat the Hawks and play the Heat for the 8th seed. Alright guys, so for the final matchup of the East play-in, we have the Bulls and the Heat for the 8th seed. I'm predicting that the Heat beat the Bulls. I just feel like the Heat are better than the Bulls, and they will just want to get into the playoffs more than the Bulls. So that's why I'm predicting that the Heat beat the Bulls and get the 8th seed. Alright guys, so for the first series of the East playoffs, we have the Celtics up against the Heat. I'm predicting that the Celtics beat the Heat in 5 games. Alright guys, so for the second series in the East playoffs, we have the Cavs up against the Magic. I'm predicting that the Cavs beat the Magic in 6 games. Alright guys, so for the third series in the East playoffs, we have the Bucks up against the Pacers. I'm predicting that the Pacers beat the Bucks in 6 games. Alright guys, so for the fourth and final series, we have the Knicks up against the Sixers. I'm predicting that the Sixers beat the Knicks in 6 games. Alright guys, so for the first series of the West playoffs, we have the Thunder against the Warriors. I'm predicting that the Warriors win that series in 5 games. Alright guys, so for the second series in the West playoffs, we have the Clippers up against the Mavericks. I'm predicting that the Mavericks win that series in 4 games. Alright guys, so for the third series of the West playoffs, we have the Timberwolves up against the Suns. I'm predicting that the Suns win that series in 6 games. Alright guys, so for the fourth and final series of the West playoffs, we have the Lakers up against the Nuggets. I'm predicting that the Nuggets win that series in 5 games. Alright guys, so for the first series of the East semi-finals, we have the Celtics up against the Cavs. I'm predicting that the Celtics win that series in 5 games. Alright guys, so for the second series in the East semi-finals, we have the Pacers up against the Sixers. I'm predicting that the Sixers win that series in 6 games. Alright guys, so for the first series of the West semi-finals, we have the Warriors up against the Mavericks. I'm predicting that the Warriors win that series in 5 games. Alright guys, so for the second series of the West semi-finals, we have the Suns up against the Nuggets. I'm predicting that the Suns win that series in 7 games. Alright guys, so we have the Eastern Conference Finals between the Celtics and Sixers. I'm predicting that the Celtics win that series in 5 games. Alright guys, so for the Western Conference Finals, we have the Warriors up against the Suns. I'm predicting that the Warriors win that series in 6 games and make it to the NBA Finals. Alright guys, so for the NBA Finals, we have a 2022 rematch between the Celtics and Warriors. I'm predicting that the 2024 NBA champions will be the Golden State Warriors, and I think they'll win it in 7 games. Thanks guys so much for watching this video. Comment down below if you think I made the right choice and who you think will be the 2024 NBA champions. And make sure you leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss out on a video that I post. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.
I'm built different, I'm that guy. No one can touch me, I'm one of a kind.